What's up, beautiful people? My name is Derek Standifer, aka Ayana's daddy, aka Derek Jr.'s papa, aka my parents' son. And I have the honor, privilege, and pleasure of having Miss India Prather on Solve It Sundays. Miss India, how are you?
I'm great. It's a pleasure being here with you today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you for the opportunity to share your wisdom, the hustle, the mentality that you have. I need a lot of young girls growing up to be like India Prather when they grow up. So that's dope. That's dopeness at its finest. Um, so before we get started, can you give us some background information about who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it? You got a lot going on. It's we gonna be here really all day. Describing the blessings that you're offering to the world.
So, who am I? First and foremost, I am a child of God. That it goes without saying. If it's not for Him, I wouldn't be where I am today, speaking with you and talking about who I'm going on. So, I want to put that out there. I am an attorney, and yes, um, I am an attorney. I'm licensed to practice in Florida. I will be taking the North Carolina bar next year, so I'll be licensed to practice in 2 states.
Turn
And
up.
yes. And what do I have going on? I currently started my own educational consultant business called The Art of Scholarships. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, The Art of Scholarships. And basically, with that consultant business, I am teaching or coaching, I would say, students how to write captivating scholarship essays and also write great college essays. As we know, that is a very daunting feat. And nowadays it's like you have to apply to like 10 different colleges just to hopefully secure your entry into one. And so, given my previous success with applying to college and winning scholarships, I went to Wake Forest on a merit scholarship and bought in $50,000 outside extra money. My mom was happy.
Your bumper's pockets are very heavy.
Yes. And I went to law school on a partial scholarship. And while in law school, I won 8 state, local, and national law school scholarships. So a lot of people will come to me and ask for advice, like, how do you apply? Like, what do you do? What's the secret? How do you write? And I realized that this was a need out here in our community. So that is how I started the Art of Scholarships in my educational consulting business.
Okay, okay.
To today.
That is amazing. So I met you 10 years ago. We were at a Coca-Cola Scholars Conference. We were both being honored. It was 250 students in the country being awarded this scholarship. I met you there, and we've been vibing ever since. You've been a beacon of light for a lot of people. I am immensely proud of everything that you've got going on. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you for your background. Um,
Yeah.
so the first step of solving the Rubik's Cube is to believe. So, what is the belief of India Prather? What's the end goal? What do you see yourself doing when it's all said and done, good man?
So when it's all said and done, I'll break it down into a spiritual realm and then into my earthly realm because that's how I like to think.
Okay.
Spiritual realm, I want to die, go to heaven, and God's going to say, "Well done. You have served your purpose here on earth. You have done what I called you to do." So He's going to say, "Well done," and so that actually is what drives my earthly purpose because I'll think of things or I'll dream of things, and I have a book. I actually have it right here. Excuse the language, but this is what motivates me. And in this book are all my thoughts and my ideas. And what I do is every time I think of something that I want to do or think of something that I want to pursue, I write it down in that book. I put a scripture on it and I say, okay, we're going to get it done. Can't get to it today, but in the long span of things in life, that's my plan to get it done. And the reason I do that is because I believe that if I thought of it or if it's something that I want to do, that means that it was placed on my heart to do from God. And that's what drives me to be very persistent in my beliefs of like pursuing them because again my goal is to hear well done. So if at the end of the day I look back at my book and then I'm on my deathbed and I see pages and pages of things unfulfilled, I have a belief that God's going to say, well, what did you do? I told you to do this. I told you to do that. What did you do? Why didn't you pursue it? Why didn't you try? And so that is my belief that if I think it, I'm going to believe it and I'm going to try to achieve it because my goal is to hear well done from God because he's placed it on my heart to do it. And
That
that's
is absolutely phenomenal. I believe that God has given everybody a skill set, a talent, a gift, and it is our rent on earth. For our payback to God is to live out what is inside of us, and we want to die on E. We don't want to take anything to the grave. We want to die on E, live out everything that is possible to live out. When you climb a mountain, and if you still got breath in your body, climb a new mountain. It's I can't look at my maker and say I left some on the field. So that's a beautiful and amazing answer. So that's a spiritual answer.
yes, that's the spiritual answer. The 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 earthly answer is I believe I look at other people and I see people doing wonderful different things. And I'm like, India, what's in your skill set? What can you do? So I used to be a teacher. So I've taken that and now I've started my own consulting business. I'm still an attorney, so I still help consult on the side for that. And now I'm actually trying to work on building wealth and building generational wealth. And I'm reading and seeking knowledge on what does that look like for me? What does that look like for my family? And so for me, that's where I'm at right now in life. Like, okay, what is generational wealth? How do I achieve it? How do I get there? What does it look like? So I think the first step is figuring out what it looks like. And for me, that's having multiple streams of passive. That's the key, passive income, right? Because if you have multiple streams of active income, then at the end of the day, you're just going to tire yourself out. You're going to be working 24/7 and you're going to accumulate all this money and you're going to be so tired. You can't enjoy it with your friends and your family. And that's not what we want. So for me, the key is to try to pursue generational wealth using multiple streams of passive income and how to get there and realizing that that journey doesn't happen overnight. You can get rich overnight, but getting wealthy overnight, that's not possible.
Come on, Miss Prather. Come on. That's a beautiful response. A lot of times people are, they're working, they're tiring themselves out like a dog, and they can't enjoy their resources. So we want that passive income so we can enjoy life and pass it down to our children. A lot of times, especially in our community, we have to start over. My mother passed away. It was, we had to figure out how we're going to get her buried. Now it's time for our people to leave resources behind when we transition. So our children don't have to start from ground zero again. So an amazing response. Amazing response. Um, so step two, after you believe, step two is solving your cross. Now, solving your cross is identifying your reasons, your why. Why do you want to make your maker happy? What are the reasons that you want to accomplish this generational wealth and establish this passive income? Who are the people that you want to make proud? Who are the people that you want to prove wrong? What are your reasons and what are your whys?
My reasons are, well, first and foremost, being a child of God, I have been through a lot of tests in life, so I have lots of testimonies. And I get so excited to share those testimonies, and I get equally even more excited to hear other people's testimonies of what they've been through. So um, I just keep going and I just keep pushing because I know that, especially if I'm in a difficult moment in life, that's just my test and it's shaping my testimony. So that's the reason why I keep going. Who do I do it for? I currently don't have kids, so I do it for my mom. I think she's watching tonight, so hopefully she's smiling at that. Um, I do it for my mom, but then for my future family that's not here yet, I have an idea of how I would like that lifestyle and what the life with like my husband and my future kids to look like. And so I rather lay the groundwork now as much as I can because I believe it'd be a lot easier than when the kids get here. And now I'm trying to figure out how to raise kids and then also accumulate this generational wealth and then try to be a great wife and then a great child of God all at the same time is definitely possible. But if you can make it easier on yourself, why not?
I concur. I concur. I'm running with a chicken with his head cut off. Raising Ayana and Derek and trying to balance life for her. So that's an amazing response. We have a comment from Miss Jen Jones. She commented that you're beautiful, India.
Thank you.
Yep. So After we solve our cross, after we establish our whys and our reasons, step three of solving the Rubik's Cube is to fill in the corners. Now, filling in the corners is to immerse yourself in a positive environment. So, what kind of friends do you keep in your circle? What kind of music do you listen to? How do you feed your spirit? How do you feed your mental? How do you feed your physical? We are a product of our environment. So, what kind of environment are you immersed in?
So I guess starting off with my friends, a lot of my friends are very, they have the same go getter mentality. Hence why you're my friend. Uh, a lot of my friends are they're phenomenal in their own right, and they're just trailblazers in their own area industry that they're working in. A lot of them are entrepreneurs or business owners, or they're at the top of their game with whatever they're doing. Doctors, lawyers, um, dentists, pharmacists, and it's funny because growing up, I did not know a lot of Black doctors, dentists, lawyers, pharmacists, you name it, right? And now I look around and I do, and they all happen to be my friends. And I think that that is so powerful to me because when I have kids, if my child grows up and says I want to be a pharmacist, I think reputation is very important and it matters. And I can say do 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 and call up so and so and let them speak to my child, and my child not only hears from a pharmacist, but they can identify with that pharmacist because they're Black. And my friend that's a pharmacist, or whoever, whatever my kid wants to be, my friends can share their experiences, right? I remember like my mom would have to search high and low when I was a child to find a Black female attorney for me to speak with. There were not that many in our area. So the few that were in our area, my mom made sure I spoke to. She made sure that she introduced me to them so I could hear their story and hear their journey and have an idea about what they wanted to embark on. So I think that the people that I surround myself with are go-getters and just as hungry in their fields as I am. And I'm very thankful for that because my children will have a strong village that when they grow up, they'll have lots of people, mentors, and influencers to look at. Um, my village is also a village that encourages me because, believe it or not, life is not going to be 100% happy, smiley faces, mountaintops every day. And you need strong people in your corner that when life knocks you down and you take a tumble, you need people there encouraging you to get back up, letting you know that it will be okay, letting you know that what do they say? A weepeth endureth for the night, but joy cometh the morning. You need people that are going to refer their scriptures to you, that are going to sing you songs, put smiley faces, like put smiles on your faces. And so I make sure that as I get older, I become very intentional about surrounding myself with people that pour into me because I'm the type of person that's going to pour into others.
Mm-hmm.
So if you constantly pour and pour and pour into others, you're going to be left with an empty cup if people aren't pouring into you, right?
Come on.
So it's very important that the people around you, they're not petty, they're not full of that negative energy, they're not worrying about the gossip on the streets or he said, she said type of stuff. And importantly, like if they hear that type of stuff and it involves you and things like that, they're blocking it even before it gets to you. And I think that that's a big thing too. So all of my friends, I think they're very good people. They're very spiritual. They're very focused on God. They're very career oriented, and they try their best to live a positive lifestyle. And I think that when you surround yourself by those types of people, you naturally see the shift in your life because you no longer entertain what's not good for you. It starts to feel off. If all of your friends are working towards something or working towards a business and you're hitting them up, texting them like, hey, what you're doing? And they're like, well, I'm working on my business today, or I got an interview here, I have a meeting here, I have to do a proposal, and you realize you're finding yourself with a whole bunch of free time. Subconsciously, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not doing something right. I need to get on my A game. And that's not even your friends telling you. That's just because of who you surround yourself with, that subconsciously you have internalized that. And that actually leads me to like my social media influence because the people who I follow are individuals that are where I aspire to be when it comes to the generational wealth. I guess I'm gonna give them free promo, but one guy is Chris Johnson. On Instagram, it's Chris with 4 S's, and he is so great. He breaks down how to have that passive income, how to have your side hustle, how to have that dividend income earning stock that we all need, another great source of passive income. And he's very positive. And while I don't know him personally, the information that he has provided for free graciously on Instagram, I've actually implemented myself and I've seen financial rewards. Um, so it's people like him that I follow because they're where I want to be. His platform has grown so large that he's able to help others. And so one day I aspire to do the same. I aspire to say, look, guys, this is what I did. Here's the blueprint. Hop on the bandwagon. Let's all get there together. Um, and so, and then, okay, so then you also asked me about my music, right? Like, what do I take in? It's funny because I was talking to a friend this morning about this. And I said, I mainly listen to gospel now. Over the past year, I have intentionally started feeding myself with gospel music. And why? Because, see, when you're destined for something good, when you are headed towards fulfilling those blessings, the devil knows. And the devil will try anything to stop you. And he'll do anything to block you from that. And so you have to be mindful that as you're on your journey, you've got to be the same way you've got to be fed with that positive reassurance and influence from your friends. You've got to be fed with that spiritual insurance, because one day when you least expect it, you're going to be tempted. You're going to be challenged, right? And so you need to be able to call on God fast, quick, in a hurry. And sometimes, I know me, I'm still learning the word. So I can't always memorize. I don't have a quick scripture verbatim ready to pull out of my pocket. But I realize that they're oftentimes embedded in gospel songs. And it's sometimes a lot easier for us to recall songs than what it is for us to memorize text. So when I'm let's say when I'm waking up, a lot of people, you wake up in the morning, you'll oftentimes recall a song that you just heard yesterday and you'll just be well, guess what? Because I'm always taking in gospel music, when I wake up, guess what songs I recall? Gospel. So now I'm praising and worshiping in the morning. And subconsciously, I didn't realize that until it was brought to my attention by Ty Tribbett. Actually, I listened to his sermons online, and he was discussing that one day. And then I noticed that I still listen to rap. I still listen to bachata music, soca, Afrobeats, reggaeton. I still listen to all kinds of music because I like it. Jazz, gospel, jazz, R&B, like all of it. But I noticed that when I start to listen to too much of it, too much of the secular music, my mind starts to shift. My mind starts to wonder. Because when you listen, I love Meg Thee Stallion. It's great, great music maker. But when you listen to that, you internalize the lyrics. You internalize the get the money fast, or anything that the pop culture is telling you to do. And that's not necessarily what is worshipped here on earth, is not necessarily kingdom culture in heaven. And so you have to know the difference, and you have to protect yourself from that, because it's so easy to get caught up. So I always try to be very intentional about what I allow myself to listen to. And if it's too much secular music, I pause and I say, wait a minute, we need to get back on track. And like I said, that helps me because I know the devil is going to try to stop me. And I know that there are going to be days where I stumble, but I'm going to get back up.
Exactly.
And like I said, having that gospel music right there, ready and handy, to me, is just like adding that extra layer of protection.
I love it. I love it. There's a quote, Zig Ziglar. It's one of my favorite quotes. I say it all the time. You've heard it before, probably. You are what you are, and you are where you are because of what you allow to go into your mind. And if you want to change what you are, and if you want to change where you are, you got to change what you allow to go into your mind. A lot of times, people listen to music. I hear it all the time. People listen to music, and the music does not affect me. They say it all the time. The music doesn't affect you, but you do internalize these messages. I know a distinct difference between when Lil Wayne was at the top height of his game. I love Lil Wayne. It was amazing. I love the play on words. I love the metaphors, the similes. I loved it. But it wasn't conducive to my purpose in life and what I wanted to manifest. So I had to limit the Lil Wayne and turn on some Les Brown and Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and motivational speeches and TD Jakes. And it does change your trajectory and how you think. It changes the flow of your mind. Let me get to the comments before quick. So um we have Christina. She says, feed your spirit. Great tips, India.
Thank
Um,
you.
Kimberly French, yes, indeed. We got Nadeem, who said, hi, guys. Christina, she says, music is so powerful. It is, the strong, that wasn't the strongest angel, Lucifer, the music, the God of music. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, Jacob says, awesome. You don't hear young people talking like this. God bless you. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. Um,
You
so
well, before you go on though, I want to share with everybody that and I never told you this, but when I think I was in law school, and I remember you starting off by sharing Les Brown a lot on Facebook. And I was like, who is this Les Brown? Let me just, go do some Google research.
you was in his city for a while.
Yeah, and I listened to him, and it was I think it was like a 5 minute speech in the morning. And I remember you saying that in the morning you used to wake up and you used to listen to Les Brown, and that's how you got your day started. So I was like, let me do this. And that's actually how I started some of my days in law school. And by listening to that speech for Les Brown, and especially some of my difficult moments, because you have to encourage yourself even when there's nobody around, even if you can't pick up the phone and call a friend to encourage you. And so you're right. And I just want to say thank you for that. I think that for me was like actually the start of the shift in my mind of realizing that I always grew up saying, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to be X, Y, and Z type of person. But that that era in my life, especially with you introducing like the motivational speech to me, and like listening to that was the shift of like, okay, this is how I'm going to become that person.
Mm. Yeah, it was this life hack I heard from Les Brown. He said, listen to motivational speeches when you first wake up. Your subconscious is still active, and you can feed your subconscious. And I started listening to motivational speeches in the morning, especially during my master's degree program and my PhD program. And it was just a key for me in winning the morning. I feel like your morning would dictate how your day is going to develop. So if you win the morning, your day will be a lot more productive, a lot more, conducive to what you want to manifest. So yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for that shout out. So all right. Step 4 of solving the Rubik's Cube, step 4 of solving life is to take it to the next level. So you see on the Rubik's Cube, we take it to the next level by solving the second row. Now, taking it to the next level is how do you gain wisdom? How do you gain new knowledge? How do you become a better version of India Prather?
Um, First, okay, spiritual realm. Spiritual realm. You have to stay in your secret place. And I first was learning about the secret place again when I was listening to Ty Tribbett, his sermons online at his church Live in Orlando, and he would always talk about the secret place and what that meant. And that's actually going to God in prayer and talking about what you're going through, asking, okay, God, this is what I think. I'm thinking about doing X. Is this okay? Or should I stop? Should I wait? Going to God first and being intentional about it, and giving it to Him. And if you have any worries, uh, releasing it, right, and letting God take care of it. That's the first thing that I do. And I will be very frank and honest. I still struggle with staying in my secret place. I can go to my secret place, but I struggle with staying in it because oftentimes you want to take control of the situation. And as humans, we want to control the outcome. And sometimes we can't always do that. So how do I grow and get better? I try to be very intentional about going and staying in my secret place because oftentimes growth means learning how to let go. And that's probably one of the biggest adult things that we can do is learn how to let go and let God. Um, And again, like I said, I still struggle with it because I still think that I have that solution, and it's all worked out, and it's not. So that's the first thing I do. I go to God. The second thing I do is, again, I try to immerse myself um, with knowledge and wisdom. I have a book right here on my desk. I did not plan this, but right here, for example, this book. Again, free publicity for Chris. So if you get this book, tell him I recommended it. Right.
He's one of the representatives of Financial Peace University by Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, yep, he
Yeah,
sure is.
yeah,
And I have that book too. Uh, Total Money Makeover. Uh, if you want to be somewhere, pick up a book and learn how to do it, right?
mhm,
Because um, I know millionaires and I know billionaires, and I've had the pleasure to be invited to their house and to dine and wine with them. But unfortunately, they don't look like me. So they're not going to tell me their secrets of how they got there. Um, so what do I have to do? I have to go to other sources and to figure it out. Because I have seen what wealth looks right. Wealth looks like. I have been around wealth. Now it's time for me to acquire wealth.
mhm.
Um, so I go to books. I I'm not really, and a lot of people keep referring them to me. I'm not really a podcaster. A lot of people love podcasts because they like hearing it, but for me, I like reading it. Because I can highlight it, I can mark it up, dog ear the page, come back. But that's just my learning style. So figure out what your learning style is. Maybe your learning style is watching it. So maybe you need to go look at YouTube videos. Maybe you're a quick 1 minute, 2 minute person. So maybe you need to follow certain people on Instagram that just shout, that just give a whole bunch of knowledge in that 1 minute video clip, and then you can take it from there. Or maybe you're like me, like you're a reader, so you'll go read the blog or you'll go read the book. But how do you grow and get better? You have to learn, and you have to face the fact that you don't have all the knowledge. And I'm not knocking those who are financial advisors and those who help plan your wealth, but you have to be, in my opinion, you have to be silly and almost a fool if you allow somebody to take 100% control of your finances and you don't have a clue the first of what a REIT fund is, or a mutual fund or a stock or a bond. You have no idea, but you just gave somebody all your life savings and you said have at it. You have to be a complete fool. Now, hopefully they'll do right by you, but why not learn that information yourself so you have 100% control? And if you want to relinquish that to somebody, you can relinquish it to somebody that you trust and you can oversee what they're doing. So I'm seeking a lot of this knowledge firsthand. And I think that that's definitely helping me grow because it's also helping me decide how I want to acquire my passive income as I grow my wealth.
Come on, come on. Um, a lot of people. You have, like you said, you really have to find your medium of taking in information. Some people can't read. It's not their forte. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it. YouTube it, documentary it, podcast it. You need to find whatever is your medium of acquiring knowledge. I'm a old school. I can't do the Kindle books. I'm an old school. Pick a book up, mark the pages type of person. Right now, I'm working on getting clients. So I got this book, Get Clients Now, and I got the workbook, Get Clients Now. So these are my the things that I'm working on right now. When I got the time to kind of to dwell into them, because starting life is like a Rubik's cube. I want to get my goal right now is to get more speaking gigs, get more coaching clients, show people how I learned to solve the twists and turns of my life, and get on this trajectory that I'm on. And you can literally find a mentor, and like you say, picking up a book. They write these books to tell you that to shorten the learning curve for you. They write them for you to acquire the knowledge. And if one book don't get it, two books to supplement as much as possible. So, Kayla, awesome. I see you got you developing some fans right now. Kayla says awesome. Triple L. I love this triple L. Lifelong learning. Um, Kimberly French, I'm definitely the same as far as learning style. Me too. So definitely find your learning style, find your medium, and go to work. All right. So the fifth and the final step of solving the Rubik's cube is to see the bigger picture. And seeing the bigger picture is a metaphor for keeping your commitment to your commitments. Usually, once you get on this path, you said the devil will begin to try to throw a lot of obstacles your way to throw you off your path. So when these trials and tribulations come your way, how do you stay committed to the process? How do you stay focused, and how do you stay continue to the grind when you know when everything is kind of falling apart?
So some days I have to just take a break and I have to just check out and allow myself to exist within my thoughts and my mind and just allow myself to get it together. Um, and some days taking a break means, and I'll say it, people may disagree, literally just watching mindless TV. Or maybe it means for me in and out of sleep all day. Or maybe it means for me just hanging out with friends and family, not thinking about things all day. Um, because oftentimes you'll find that because if you're especially an ambitious person or if you're just on a journey on something in life, it never stops. Every single day there's always going to be something, and if you try to keep up with that pace every day, you're going to burn yourself out. And you at the same time you have to, life to me is like a triangle. You It's a balance of like your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So if one of them is down, listen. It might can't always be a happy like third split, but like if one is down and it's literally 0% and it's been at 0% the past couple of months or the past couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, you need to pause and you need to reset, because you can't be balanced with one of them constantly functioning at a level zero. So, at like the overall big picture idea is it is okay to take a break. It is okay to take a breather because that's going to help you in the long run. But what's not okay is just like checking out, dropping it, you're walking away, you're done. Um, don't give up. Maybe you need to redirect. An example for me was something that I wanted to get into e-commerce. And so I'm starting my e-commerce business. Last year, I started learning about drop shipping and pursuing drop shipping. And I took a course, I did everything, and I was so afraid to start. I took the course last January. I didn't even start trying to build a store until October, November, because I was so afraid of failure that I would talk about it. I would watch so many YouTube videos and I'd be so fired up. And in my head, it's like, yeah, when I get my store, I'm going to make 10 figures, but I wouldn't do anything. And that's the type of mentality that basically it's fear, and you have to overcome that fear. So you can get started on your commitment, so you can get the ball rolling. And when I overcame the fear, I think I went through about like 3 different drop shipping websites before I was like, this is not it. This is not working. Some I saw success, some I didn't even start to sell the product. I had already set it up. Just going through so many different processes. Um, then I just now, and then what I realized is that while I was passionate about e-commerce, I wasn't passionate about the product I was selling. So I was able to figure out the disconnect. And I think that that's the next thing, is that when you have a commitment and you realize that you're not performing up to that level, your level of expectation, and you're not meeting those commitments, ask yourself what the disconnect is, and then work to solve it. So what I did was I worked to solve the disconnect, and I finally realized that because I wasn't passionate about the products, I wanted to find a product that I was passionate about selling. Because if I'm passionate about the product, if I believe in the product, guess what? When I don't feel like working, I'll still work.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's an amazing response. Let's shout out. I believe this is your grandmother. She says, "That's our grandbaby girl."
Yes, yes,
So,
that's my grandmother.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Miss Susan, thank you for procreating to produce Miss India. We appreciate you and her blessings to the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have it, Miss India Prather, and how she solves the twists and turns of her Rubik's cube. It has been an honor, a privilege, a pleasure. You dropped a lot of jewels today. It's an honor to know you and to call you a friend. Yeah, you lifted me up out of some dark moments, plenty of times, and it is an honor that steel sharpens steel, and you're one of those people that keeping me sharp. So I appreciate you so much, more than you know, from the top of my heart to the bottom of my soul. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend, guys. If you don't know, this man is getting his PhD. I'm so impressed. I'm over here like, should I get one? He's so he guys is equally as awesome. I have to throw that back out there. But thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, yeah. So, India, you stay on. To everybody who's watching, thank y'all for tuning in to Solve It Sundays. I hope you guys learned a lot from Miss India. You know, while we got her, we got to take advantage of her. So, Miss India, do you have any lasting words that you want to embark on the people before we log off?
I want to, okay, so my pastor said this, I think like a year ago, and I think that it's so applicable to people. So if you are thinking about life in general, I think that it's like the three E's. So you have to be exposed to it, to experience it, to expect it. And I'll say that again. You have to be exposed to it, to experience it, to expect it. So if there's anything in your life right now that you're trying to do, or that you're thinking about, you're like toying with the idea, go find exposure. And what I mean by that is, even if it's something as tangible as you want to buy, um, I don't know, a Jaguar truck. I'm just making something up. Go to that dealership, dress up in your Sunday best, go to that dealership and ask the test driver. I don't care if your account is in the red, go do it, because you need the exposure of being around that Jaguar truck, because that is what you want to have one day. And I can guarantee you that you just going there and feeling the ambiance and then keep going back. They don't know that your accountant's in the red. They're just trying to make a sale at the end of the day. So you're dressed up. They're going to treat you like any other person in there. Um, and pretty soon, when you start to see these Jaguar trucks on the highway, guess what? You will have remembered your exposure, that experience in it, right? So now that sense of urgency to have that Jaguar truck is more and more. So guess what you're doing? Creating a plan to get there, creating a plan to have it. And then pretty soon you're going to be looking around saying, well, why can't I have this Jaguar truck? And then you're going to start expecting to have it. And that is how, in my opinion, that's how you manifest things. And leaving on a spiritual note, my pastor said, and I thought this was just phenomenal. It's like, don't be afraid to ask for your heart's desire, no matter how big the request is, because there's no big of a request from our God, who owns everything. So our Father owns everything. So whatever you ask for, He can give it to you, but you have to ask for it, and then you have to be willing to put in the work to acquire it, and know that it is going to be a journey. The bigger the blessing you're asking for, the bigger the journey that you're gonna undergo. And so you just got to be suited up and booted up with those good friends that can hunker you down.
Yep.
Times get rough, and you will make it. You will get it.
So there we have it, y'all. Miss India Prather, attorney, businesswoman. My Ayana's a mentor, one mentor. She don't know it yet, but yeah, you got to mentor my baby girl. So let me shout out. So Christina, she manages my social media. Derek, Dr. Derek, he's the truth. Great live. I appreciate you, Miss Christina. We have Miss Shayla Bell. She's an amazing entrepreneur as well. She gets are those fist bumps? What are those? Hand claps. Oh Lord, y'all, I got horrible eyesight. But we thank y'all for tuning in. Indy, you stay on for a hot second. For everybody who's watching, y'all be great like the lakes, be blessed like a sneeze. Peace.